Namaste Krishna Rao garu. Welcome to IYR Talks, English edition. In this edition, since there is a lot of uproar that has taken place during last fortnight on Hindu religious institutions, starting with the Laddu Prasadam ingredients, ghee, and then of course the opposition leader trying to stage a counteract by going and trying to offer his visit to the Lord, and finally today he went back, and then so the basically what I am telling is that the interference by the political parties in the religious institutions such as Tirupati temple, or otherwise for that matter Annavaram or Sri Salem or anything, that the appointment of course, executive officers is all the prerogative of the government. Since these things, most of the temples comes under the Hindu Religious Endowments Act, the board is comprised in fact it has become a big phenomenon in the last 2 decades also. Whichever the government is there in power, they are appointing their own loyalists, or for that matter their own henchmen, or for that matter if you say their own caste people, without really looking at the merits of the person who has to head the institutions. This has become a common phenomenon, and the political whoever people cannot be accommodated, they are accommodated here by way of a trust board members and all that, and that's been going on. And in fact, in the last regime, the number of board members also have been increased to accommodate number of people. So I think the system, religion is one thing, basically it goes on faith. So what I feel is this: the religious heads, the matadpatis, the pujaris, they are the people, they should be involved as a part and parcel of these trust boards. And since many people from ages, there is a particular sect that has been associated with in propagating the religious dharma among all the public. So such people also be given a particular cushion in forming the trust boards without trying to accommodate this person, that person and all that, and finally not helping anything in trying to take for the Hindu religious institutions. And there is also one more question I want you to give me a feedback, is that is it necessary that all Hindu religious institutions should come under Endowments Act? Because that's a very big question which is being debated for years, and till now there is no proper solution for that.
Yeah, let's see how these temples were run before they were really taken over by the government in the 20th century during the British regime. Essentially, they were being run locally by the local committees or whatever it is, and Pujari used to take care of the thing, and there used to be manyams for different works that were done there. The Pujari had a manyam, the washerman had a manyam, the person who went with the deity had a manyam. So everybody, whoever was associated with the running of the temple, had a manyam from which they used to get their income, and they used to run it. So they were substantially independent, running on their own, being guided by the local people, the local elders. That's the way they were functioning. So then, during the British regime, for whatever are the reasons, they decided that they should be with the government. So all these things were taken over, and an Endowment Act was enacted in 1933, which is very specific to Madras Presidency. That's why it's not the system all across the country. You have different systems of running these temples in different states and places. But in Madras Presidency, they were all taken over by the British government. But British always were sensitive to the local customs and local practices. So they never interfered in the religious practices. They were just looking after the secular administration. To that extent, it was running well. After independence, of course, they were running reasonably well, but with all these politics, these trust sports and others were getting packed with yes men of whoever is in power. The real problem started, and then the real attack on temples was done during N.T. Rama Rao's time through this Challa Committee report, where they abolished everything, hereditary systems, e-norms, everything, without making any alternative arrangement. That was the first thing. So nobody was interested. So pujaris lost interest because they were not getting any income. They pauperized the institutions. In fact, whether they did it deliberately or that became the consequence of what they have done, but in the end they have ended up pauperizing the institutions. Only when Rajashekhar Reddy became the chief minister, he reversed most of these things and got back some of those provisions. In fact, the Chilkur Balaji temple, Saundararajan and his son, they played a very, very important role in restoring back the old system. Today, how should they be run? Yes, I mean, first thing, if the government is sincere, they should start with the trust boards. Don't put political fellows there. Start putting really people who are interested in Hindu dharma and things like that. Take them away as far as possible from the government control. Let there be some Sanatana Dharma committee or whatever it is, with eminent people, both from the social side and the religious side, who have an abiding faith in the Hindu dharma and want to improve it. Such people, if they are at the helm of the IAS, definitely things will improve. Fully government getting out also, I don't agree, because just because government does not have a role, the minority institutions are not doing well. There is a lot of embezzlement, a lot of financial irregularities happening there. So by itself, it may not lead to a great improvement. So some sort of a government overall arching and looking after is required. But within that, you need to build a independent system to run these things. And this is a good opportunity for the government to show its good faith in doing this by reforming the whole system and bringing back things which can give them sufficient autonomy to run well. That is what is required. And it requires a lot of thought.
Let's hope that since till now the TTD board has not been established, the government will take care everything as Pavan Kalyan has suggested to constitute.
Let's hope so.
Yeah, so thank you.